JBH Boutique Care offers you a unique exclusive membership in our nationwide concierge medical services network. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Judine Bontemps-Hill. I'm double board certified in family and obesity medicine. We pair exclusive personalized care with accessibility and convenience. A better way for you to receive immediate quality medical care. Whether at our main Orlando, Florida office, traveling across the U.S. or visiting the States, we bring you the best medical care without waiting for an appointment. Become a member today by calling 407-234-5282 or visit us online at jdhmeg1.com. JBH Boutique Care is proud to sponsor Sounds of the Diaspora, music and conversations with artists, and host Dion Parson every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Source TV Radio Network, WTSN, Washington, D.C.
With Dion Parson. Tonight we have a special artist. This gentleman is someone that I just got the pleasure of meeting, and he's doing amazing things. He's a vocalist, and he's an all-around entertainer. Please join me in welcoming to Sounds of the Diaspora, Mr. Bain, Mr. Brandon.
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah. How you doing, bro?
Pretty good. How you doing, Dion?
Man, I can't complain, man. I'm enjoying my time here in the show.
Great,
So
great.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Yes, sir. So, Mr. Bain, entertainer, vocalist extraordinaire, you're doing your thing here, man, in New York City. So, you're a man of many talents. That's what I heard.
Okay.
And you're doing your thing. So, what I would like to do is connect the Afro-Caribbean diaspora with your background. So tell our audience your background, your upbringing, how you got started in the industry.
Okay, so yeah, my name is Brandon Bain, and I was born in Flatbush, Brooklyn. And growing up in Flatbush is pretty much like being in the Caribbean. You got all the food, all the music, and all the people. So my father's from Grenada, my mother's from St. Vincent. And, I'm the first generation here in America. But when my family came from Grenada, most of them moved into this building, and there was about 5 families in different apartments. So we were all very close. And on my father's side and on my mother's side, my great-grandparents had about 12 or 13 children that we know about. And then they all have a bunch of kids. So it's just like a lot of cousins, like, growing up in like maybe the late 80s and early 90s, there was a lot of crime happening in the streets. So, you would go out and play every now and then, but we spent a lot of times, coming home from school and then locking all the locks on the back of the door. But we had so many cousins that we didn't even mind, it was like, those were our friends.
Right.
And so the family was very tight-knit. We did a lot of like basement parties on holidays and stuff like that. And they would just bump a lot of like classic Calypso and soca music. And, so that was my introduction into really hearing the sounds of that music. And to be honest, it's a lot of humor and like innuendo, sexual innuendo and stuff like that. And I didn't know. I mean, some things when it's like more explicit, but, now that I'm a vocalist, I can really see the Mighty Sparrow and a lot of these songwriters who are really, singing stories that you could still sing today and people would get, and that you never get tired of. It's like watching your favorite movie over and over and over.
And they're not offensive.
Right. It's
Yeah,
like
that's
done in a tasteful way. You don't got to say it all the time. You could,
right. Very classy
allude and like use the imagination. This is like when radio existed before TV. You had to really use your imagination. And so, my family, on my dad's side, there were a lot of musicians, but they never really like went to school formally and were educated. And, but they had what I call the Bain ear. They were very good at just like picking up music quickly and playing by ear. So my dad played the bass. My uncle Carl played bass. He was in this group Mastermind. And my dad, he tried his best to like get us interested in music. And my sister was the one they were pushing to like sing and stuff. She had a good voice. And like I was into the arts and like drawing and stuff like that, writing stories, and I just never thought of it. And my dad would take us, and at a certain point you just wanted to go home and watch cartoons, but you bang on the drums and stuff like that.
You're right.
I just never paid attention to music until I went to college and I studied journalism and television and radio. I created my own degree, and I was just always into watching TVs. I loved not just like entertainment, but like production. Like I love to watch award shows and maybe not so much always Broadway, but that type of show where there's a concept and a theme and intention. So I was always paying attention to that as a kid, and I kind of weaved that into my school projects. And I became a journalist right after graduating from college, and I worked at a few newspapers, the New York Times, and I really loved my craft because it's storytelling. And, it taught me a lot about asking the right questions and how to formulate a story so that, the average reader can, see what's going on without feeling like they're not smart enough to get it. So that was where I learned that, I think. And, just one day after kind of, liking my craft but not necessarily liking the business of it, in the sense that, people weren't really reading newspapers anymore. I used to see people reading the New York Times and folding out the big paper on the train. But, that was dwindling because the internet was taking over and also making things very short. So, just one day out of boredom, I went to an open mic, and, it was pretty empty. But these two guitar players, I used to see them on the train all the time. They would only play Beatles songs. And I love the Beatles, so I would always give them at least $1. And then one day, it was so empty that they were singing Yesterday. And Yesterday is such a beautiful song in terms of like the melody is easy to remember. It's very catchy. So I got up and I just sang a little bit of it, and I just didn't know I had that in me. But to be honest, when people left the house, I would blast like Nat King Cole and stuff like that and kind of sing. But I never really heard my voice on a microphone until that moment. And it's not that I quit journalism to go sing. It was more so that the universe opened up that door for me to like see other talents within me. I wanted to be on the creative side again. And journalism, there is creativity, but you're writing daily news like education, crime, who got shot, who got elected. Right. And so, you have to stick to that. And so I was very happy to discover that. And instantly, once I discovered that, all the stuff my dad was trying to show me with the music he was playing, just was like, oh, yeah, I know this. He played a lot of Harry Belafonte and Paul Simon, and of course, Sparrow and Duke and Nelson and Winston Soso and Beckett and all of these people that I'd, heard growing up was just like part of my blood, and part of my life's playlist. Yeah.
Listen, man, you grew up in New York City, but you had a serious Caribbean upbringing, because all those names you mentioned are names that I listened to growing up on a daily basis. I mean, I didn't even have to leave the house. It was on the radio every day.
There you go.
Calypso Rose, Lord Nelson, Mighty Sparrow, Mighty Chalk Dust, all of those artists that they just resonated across the airwave. And I mean, we're not even talking about Jamaica. We haven't even started talking about Jamaica yet. So we're mainly talking about like Middle Caribbean and Trinidad and all of the Calypso stuff. We haven't even started talking about Latin jazz and Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic and Cuba. So it's really, I'm excited because I know you got to your singing career later in your life as an adult. And I'm enjoying this conversation because, to hear you talk about your upbringing and things that you heard and didn't really pay attention to as much as your parents tried to expose you to. And now
Yeah.
that you're adult, you're like, wow, man. And you just connect with it. It's all
Yes. Yes.
coming to you and it's feeding you. It's good to see. It's good to hear. And I'm excited because I used to think that I was the only one with my own story when I first came to America because I was, hitting all these jazz jam session and I'm playing all of these tunes. And I really wanted to be a jazz musician. And I built my career in that field. But there was other things I wanted to do also, but I didn't have the connections. So later now in my life that I'm, meeting all of you guys and have been touring with a lot of Caribbean bands, I'm like, wow, there's a whole world out there.
For real, for real. Yeah.
Well, people connected. So let me
Yeah.
let me ask you this: you went to school for journalism, real quick, but just let our audience know, where did you go to school at?
So I went to Brooklyn College because
Okay,
it was very close to where I live in Flatbush, and I just was, I went to a high school that was kind of far away, and I just said, I'm done going too far for school. I went to Brooklyn College. But when I got there, I
and
was surprised that, they call it the poor man's Harvard. But, we have a lot of beautiful alumni who went there. I think
you,
even Frankie McIntosh, the piano player from St. Vincent, a lot of different people. So I'm proud to have gone to Brooklyn College. It was right there, and it allowed me to, like I said, I created my own degree based on my interests, but like I was able to explore. That's what education should be, in my opinion. Just you put the ingredients on the table, and people choose the things they think they like and things they didn't think they like, but eventually, it's all a part of your diet. So I had a good time. Like it's one of my highlights, in life of just doing what I love with people that I enjoy doing it with.
great. And that background, the degree and background that you did out of Brooklyn College was mainly in journalism.
Journalism and television and radio. So, I was the editor of my college paper. So I spent a lot of time studying just like how to craft stories. And then the TV radio side is what I was interested in because I just love, broadcasting. So we did like studio work, field production work. I was a TV news reporter, all of these things I got to test out at Brooklyn College. So, it's still with me today because, I run a video series called Capsulocity. And
Mhm.
it's just really an interest. Like, like I said, the ingredients are there. Nobody said, go do this. I just, I was always like that. I was always the type to like ask questions in the family because I
Right.
realized the generation before me never really asked the elder people a lot of important questions like, where'd you come from? What's your favorite color? That's a Larry King question. But like, just information. Like it was very important to me about where I'm from. The video work, really had more purpose for me because after college, I said, I'm just going to go visit my grandmother in Florida. I'm not going to go to South Beach and party. I'm just going to spend some time with her. And I brought my camera, and she's usually very shy. And like, I said, Granny, could I interview you? She said, yeah. And the whole interview is her in her curlers. But she told me a lot of these stories about how just everything, because she always told us stories. I think there's old people and there's elders. Elders share the information they know so that you can do better, And so she was good at, really.
That's great. That's great. And your journalism background, led you to a path of like really connecting with musicians and musicians, especially from the Afro-Caribbean diaspora. And that's how you kind of got, got on the scene as well, because with your affiliation with certain musicians, you were able to build those relationships.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so both of my grandmothers really influenced me musically because my maternal grandmother, she's from St. Vincent. She loved Nat King Cole, and she would play a lot of his music. So when I finally got an internship and enough money to buy her like a gift for Christmas, I bought her first CD player, and I bought her like a collection of Nat King Cole songs.
Mm.
So and then around that time, I think Natalie Cole had released like a song of her father's music. So it was popular. She won a Grammy for it. And my other grandmother, she was the partier, so she would play the sparrow and all of that stuff. So all of that stuff weaved into me. My voice naturally, when I started singing, felt like easy listening, like a jazz type artist. I didn't know anything about jazz, but just one day, working with a voice teacher, because I didn't go to school for music. I was working with a voice coach, and he said, "You sound like you could do jazz or Broadway or something like that. If you're interested in jazz, go check out the Lennox Lounge on Sunday nights." So I went there on a Sunday immediately, and Lafayette Harris was playing piano that night, and I was so nervous to sing. I remember my bill came up to like $26, and I got like a hamburger and stuff like that. And I was just, you know, considering if I should sing. And this girl walks in, and she's got big hair, and I said, I know she can sing. And she went straight to the list, wrote her name down. And once I saw that, I was just like, yeah, let me go up. And it's a good thing I did, because we were the last two to sing. So, I knew the song, The Way You Look Tonight. I knew my key. I knew how to count it off. And, I did it. And after that, she said to me, so where we going next? And she took me to the St. Nick's pub. And probably the next week I went to Smalls. And I was just so surprised to see that there were people my age, and then of all ages, but especially people my age and younger, playing jazz music so seriously. You could walk by Smalls and think nothing is happening. But when you go downstairs, the place is like wall to wall packed with people. And so
young people like that.
Yes,
young
yes.
People like that, yeah.
Just became a hang, and I was happy to have that, because I was a little down from leaving journalism. I didn't know exactly what I was going to do next. But I went to school for this, and I was like, I got to do this. But then discovering the music and discovering that community gave me something to do in my downtime. And I would go like all the time to open mics and then to jam sessions and just meet people. And after you sing, people come up to you, and it's like you feel like you've known them forever. So that was where I discovered even the idea to do my video series, is just seeing that amount of young talent. And, at that time, people weren't really giving them the amount of space in the jazz magazines. So I felt like that was an opening for me to, assist the community in that way.
That's great, man. And Lennox Lounge was a staple back then.
Yes,
because everybody came through the Lennox Lounge. The vocal mic with Lafayette was on a Sunday. Yeah, I played there for many years, on and off with Lafayette. For I think maybe 8 years, I would say, on and off. Yeah.
It was such a great introduction. I think they used scenes of it in Malcolm X, the movie. So it looked like what I would expect the jazz club to look like.
Oh yeah,
in the movie when I went there. So
I just walked by there a couple of days ago with my son, and I pointed out to him. I said, "Man, that was a famous Lennox Lounge right there. It's not there anymore. I think it's
what bank. Is it now?
There's a bank there.
Oh, okay.
I know a bank, or it's like the building has been transformed a bank, and there's a bodega, and even St. Nick's pub is gone. I mean, it's just a lot of the scenes, a lot of the major clubs that was part of the scene have disappeared, and these were things that kind of, these were stomping grounds. These were like educational platforms for the young artists to do their thing. Outside of a classroom, you could get the information in the classroom, but you still have to go out and make it happen. And a lot of those places have kind of disappeared. But it's part of the time. But you did all of that. You did your, I call that homework. Going out and putting that time in, and you've impressed some folks to the point where they supported you to get on stage. Because I know a couple of my dear friends was like, yeah, man, you got to talk to him, man. You got to have him on the show. You got to make sure. And so I'm like, okay, you're doing all of the right things, which is good. Right. we have a comment from Ms. Janelle B that says, "We love you, Mr. B."
That's my sister. Love you too, Joe. She's watching. I send it to all the family, because they've been pretty supportive. Now it took a while. At first it's like crazy that you would leave journalism to do something like entertainment, but I think
that's you got to have that support.
Yes.
Yeah, and the support. And listen, man, the support is not easy in this business. It's not, because everybody has a better path for you except you. When you say, "Hey, I'm going to be a professional musician," oh, really?
Yeah. You got to see the vision, and stick to it. If you feel there's something there, and I felt there was something there because people thought I was leaving a job in journalism to go like mess around, in a club. But the truth is I was trained to do that. It's all storytelling. And my grandmother's trained me, my father trained me, and I can write, and I know a beginning, middle, and end. So it's all related, and that's how I think of it. I just, I don't think of it too hard. I didn't get to go to music school, so to say. But like you said, these clubs were my playground. I worked with different voice coaches. I talked to a lot of musicians. Doing the video series actually helped me out a lot because I was always asking them questions. My favorite part of any story of people who made it big, whether it be like a Frank Sinatra, Nat King Cole, and all of these people, was that period before they made it big, before they had the hit record. That little bit of struggle they had. Who did they go to learn from, and where did they start? That has always been fascinating to me because that's me, even though it's not. It's like we can all relate to that growth.
Right. But but not only that, but you've been very adventurous in seeking knowledge. I mean, you spent some time in London, you spent some time in Asia, and not too many people would just up at a young age and go do that. That's what I'm saying. Like coming from the Caribbean, when I left for college, I was like gone. I jumped on a plane.
Yeah.
I had nobody and meeting me. I was just showing up and so you spent some time in England, and what was that like?
Oh, it was great. So I was at Brooklyn College, and we were in English class, and this guy, his name was Saul, and he was so, some people are so passionate about what they do, like that, people don't know whether or not to trust them or they think they're crazy. But when Saul walked in, he started selling us it was called the London Summer Program. And as soon as he was talking, I was like, yo, I'm going. Like, I was just like, I'm going. I know people were like, I don't know if I have the money. And I'm like, I'm going. I'm going to find the money. And I went. We studied like Shakespeare and, just like English culture. And we had to write like a little play at the end, like a 10-minute play. And, I went there and, it was just so much fun. I love being in foreign countries. I love when, the difficulty level of like not necessarily being able to read or, speak to the people. But, as much as the world is crazy, the beauty of life is meeting some of these people that, you can just go anywhere in the world and befriend somebody on the beach or, and somebody who's always willing to help. So I had a lot of help, just by walking the streets at night by myself, with a map or, and out of England, being there for over a month, on weekends, we would go to like Paris and Amsterdam. And, I was still in college. So that was so much fun. A lot of my family members probably hadn't seen these places.
Right.
And I just felt like it's just something to do, and I enjoyed it, just tasting different foods and, going to different clubs, seeing how they enjoy music. And, I just made it a thing. By the end of college, I needed 6 more credits to graduate in 4 years. So I saw that there was a study abroad trip to China. And I said the same thing. I was dating this girl. I said, I'm going to China. She said, without me? And then she came too, and financially took care of it. So we had a good time. And, that was even more of a learning curve. But to be honest, this is funny that I'm on the show. Because while I was there, you stand out. I'm like 6'2", in a sea of Chinese people. And it's like packed in the streets. And like, they might think I play basketball or something. And like, I'm looking like 3 blocks down and I see another one that looks like me, like a dark kid. And we finally meet, and he's from Trinidad. And he showed me how to bargain. And he showed me he was teaching English from Trinidad in China. Told me how to bargain. He told me how to where to go to get certain foods. And, I didn't even take his number, but I saw him again. I couldn't miss him. And so we became friends. I did actually the second time took his number. And, so I had help. It's just like the universe sends you exactly what you need to get through,
And energy creates energy that creates energy. And whether it's positive or negative energy, is going to create that energy for you. So it's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing. I love it, man. And I love your sense of inhibitionness, to just pursue what's needed. And we all have a calling, and we get to our path through different ways. And that's your path, but it got you to where we are today. And you have a lot to share with our audience, and you've shared a lot, but I want our audience to hear you sing. I think it's important because, Mr. Bain is someone that they know. If they are listening for the first time and don't know you, then they'll get to know you. So that's the beauty of what we do here at Sounds of the Diaspora. So Do we have this song? It's called "If You Could See the Sun."
Yeah.
Yeah. And now.
I see the sun light up everything in the world around you. Yes, you are my sun, illuminate my heart, can't live without you. Your smile shines brighter than the greatest star in all the world, my sunshine, that's what you do. Warm the coldest, darkest night. Without you near, I fall apart. That's why I need you. In you, I see the sun, and in the sun, I see you. 'Cause I travel every road, across the skies and seas to get to your side. Forever here with you, being next to you, I feel alive. I'd follow you from here to there, around the world and everywhere, I'll be there for you. 'Cause when the moonlight comes and love sets, and I know I'll never see you till the morning. In you I see the sun, and in the sun I see you. Your smile shines brighter than the greatest star in all the world, my sunshine, that's what you do. You warm the coldest, darkest night. Without you near, I fall apart. That's why I need you. In you, I see the sun, and in the sun, I see you. Now, Dizzy's Club, I know you guys are probably thinking that's not on the Calypso album, because that's the song that I wrote. You know, and I wrote it at a time where I lost somebody who was very close to me, and I never lost somebody that was that close to me. And we recently lost a titan in all of music, I would say, in activism, in movies, Mr. B. Harry Belafonte. Let's show him some love. So really, I gotta thank my grandmother as well. She's the one who turned me on to Calypso music. And then my father also did. He said, you know what, you gotta add this Calypso stuff into your music, you know? And I'm happy I did. So, you know, one of the things that I learned from Harry Belafonte is I used to, you know, I just said, I wonder if he's still performing, let me go check him out. And he was no longer singing, but he was talking about everything that was going on and everything he had been through and all the work that still needs to be done. So he was singing. He was singing his song, and that's what we're here to do. There's a beautiful documentary on him called Sing Your Song. And he always encouraged artists not only to sing their song, but to get people to sing with them. So Dizzy's, I need your help right now. Sing along. I'm gonna sing, and you, I see the sun, and you're gonna return it back, and in the sun, I see you. Ready? Okay, here we go. In you, I see the sun, and in the sun, I see you. You sound good, hurry. In you, I see the sun, I see you. In you, I see the sun, and in the sun, I see you. One more time. Make it count. Let's go. In you, I see the sun, and in the sun, I see you. I see
Hey, beautiful.
Thank
I love
you.
that. I love that, man. It's calypso-ish. It has a second line vibe, groove, but
Right.
got all the right elements up in there, man. Who are the band members?
So that's the band. That's the band I would love to play with all the time. But we got hired to do Caribbean Heritage Week at Dizzy's in 2016, and so I got some recommendations. And the band was Whelan Dellisford on piano, Jonathan Michel on bass, who also does a lot of the musical directing and arranging. We had Jimmy McBride on drums from Connecticut, badass calypso drummer and jazz drummer, and Wayne Tucker on trumpet, also a great vocalist. Um, and sometimes we have Kareem Thompson on steel pan. This particular show, we had Andre White on steel
Mhm.
pan, Marvin Dolly from Trinidad on guitar, and we had some special guests on this particular show. This was a tribute to Harry Belafonte that happened just a couple of months after he had passed. I got the idea to do his album Calypso that came out in 1956 was the very first to sell 1 million copies in the US and in the UK. And I found that out by watching this documentary called Sing Your Song. And I was just like so surprised to know that that style of music was the first in America to sell 1 million. So, I'd been singing songs that were traditional Calypso songs, but also made popular by Harry. And I just thought, it wasn't done enough. Like his music was so powerful, and everybody knows it and loves it. But I just didn't really see too many tributes that time. And my dad had turned me on to him. Growing up, that was one of the first albums I remember. Really just playing all the time. And so yeah, we did this show as a tribute, and that song isn't on the album clearly, but I wanted to do something of my own that paid tribute to him as well. So
Right.
in You I See the Sun is that song, and that's the band that I thought would like do it justice to pay tribute to Mr. B. Yes,
That's great. That's beautiful. And that's one of your originals.
that's an original. It's unreleased, so I sing it in my shows all the time. I've been doing it since we wrote it, but this is the debut here on the Dion Parson show and Sounds of the Diaspora. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope to release it, later this year. I haven't released any music under my own name, but you're gonna hear a couple of songs that I released as with other groups.
Well, your solo CD's coming, and your cousin Sandra, she's saying hi. So
Andra, yeah, got the
yeah,
family in the house, man. I posted it in
that's
the family
family house.
reunion chat, so you're gonna see a bunch of Grenadians pop through.
That's beautiful. But I'm enjoying. I love the band, man. I know all the cats. It's really great, and that's what I'm saying. Is like for me, I'm really happy to see that the music from the Afro-Caribbean diaspora is being, presented and accepted in some of the more popular venues.
Right.
Because when we first came to town, it didn't exist. It was like you had to be part of a specific genre to be recognized as a musician, and if you did something outside of that, then you was like kind of, a lot of people don't realize like half of my career was playing jazz, traditional jazz music with all the cats, but I spent a lot of time doing reggae tours, African tours. I was
Right.
working with a number of African bands, Babatunde Olatunji and the Drums of Passion, and from Nigeria. Is so as a musician you have to do a lot of different things to make a living, but
Correct.
you have to be careful of how you step out of those genres, because
Right.
it's not always accepted by everyone. So like I said, I'm so happy to just see our Afro-Caribbean music being accepted and presented too, because a lot of people didn't want to come out and do that back then. So
Right.
this is great. Yeah.
No, it's true. I mean, I guess I'm seeing it more now that I'm doing it more myself. But I was happy to see when people were doing it in that style too. I checked you out a few times as well. I was out there in the audience, so I mean, I was happy to see you. And then of course I get and Charles and a bunch of people who are really doing it, not just doing it, but doing it as like not like airport music, like it's like on a high level where you hear
Yeah.
the intelligence behind it, but still you resonate with it, you can move, you can dance, and you just have to have
Yeah.
heard that, to hear yourself out there, you know.
Yeah. It's important to represent. I remember being in college back in the 80s, and I was practicing, and trombone player Frank Lacey, Roscoe Umba Lacey, knocking on my door, and I opened up the door. He used to call me Roots. He said, "Roots, man, you playing all of this stuff." He said, "Man, I want play some Calypso for me, man." He said, "I'm out here vibing. I want to hear you play some Calypso." He said, "Man, don't ever forget where you came from, man." Every time I would see Frank Lacey, he would always say that to me, man. He would say, "Roots, don't forget where you came." He said, "You have to carry that. You have to figure out a way to carry that." And that was part of the catalyst behind the 21st Century Band and making that happen. Once Ron and I became roommates in New York, and Ruben came to New York, and Rashawn was in college, and then all the kids, we eventually looked around and said, "Hey, it's a group of us here. Let's do something." And that's what happens. Similar with you, you found this really amazing group of musicians that connected with you musically, spiritually, and they can tell your story. So that's part of it.
Yeah, I love it's so weird because it's like the band consists of people from Trinidad and Haiti, and you feel all of that in it, and it's just like a beautiful thing. I remember my mother made it a point to take us to the islands very early. So I went to St. Vincent, and then we flew right over to Grenada on that trip. And I appreciated it because like we would go, around carnival time sometimes, and they would do, the Calypso competition. And it's like long form Calypso, and and you start cracking up, and you might even take a nap here and there. But after that, you get up and somebody just makes you laugh, and it was such good times. I'll never forget it because that's just mastery of storytelling. It's just like anywhere you can turn, and I love, like, even we used to go to Eastern Parkway for Labor Day, and just hear the different trucks pass by. When you see the Haitian truck come, man, everybody just run because they're not playing, man. That's like some powerful music, and I love it. I love it, and I always ask to, try to include some of that in the music. You feel the history of the people in these sounds, early Calypso in Trinidad, and, revolutionary style in the Haitian music, and just beautiful. I just want all of it. We consider ourselves world musicians, and not just islanders, people from Brooklyn, people of different colors, are in the band, and they bring their own flavor to it, and I love it all, because it makes us sound more like ourselves, so.
Beautiful. Well, let's check out another one of your composition that you've shared here with us. After the Lights Go Down Low. Let's check this out.
All right.
After the Lights Go Down Low.
Yeah.
After the lights go down low, oh baby, you'll know there'll be no reason for teasing me so. And when the dancing is through and folks will be few, I'll be there sitting with no one but you, and I'll be needing you so. After the lights go down low, I wanna hold you, squeeze you as tight as I can. I'd like to kiss you, please you, make you understand. When you thrill me, you fill me with love so divine. Together we could have a good time. When the lights go down low, oh baby, you'll know there'll be no reason for teasing me so. And we can cuddle up near without any fear, 'cause I've got some sweet talk that you wanna hear, and I'll be needing you so. After the lights go down low,
like to kiss you, please you, and make you understand. When you thrill me, you fill me with love so divine. Together we could have a good time. When the lights go down low, oh baby, you'll know there'll be no reason for teasing me so. And we can cuddle up near without any fear, 'cause I've got some sweet talk that you wanna hear, and I'll be needing you so after the lights go down low. And I'll be needing you so after the lights go down low.
Yeah.
That's some classic big band stuff, man.
Yep. Yeah.
So you went from the islands, Calypso stuff, straight up to like some Frank Sinatra, you know, straight up Broadway big band. I love it.
Real, when I started singing, I had just, before I even thought it was possible, I just had this vision of me singing with a big band. That's the way I wanted to do it, like the movies and stuff like that. I just didn't know where to find one, but bumped into this musician, Israeli saxophone player and arranger, Eyal Vilner. And, that was my first break into it. And, we worked out some great songs, and there's always a party, when you sing with a big band. I just love being surrounded by sound. That song, I got him, I think I suggested it to him because my very first gig singing was at this Italian restaurant in Bensonhurst called Villa Paradiso. And I got the gig because I hired a piano player to teach me piano, because everybody said, if you're going to sing, you need to learn how to play piano. And I kept telling him, I sing. And he's like, yeah, whatever. Let's just play piano. Pay me my money. And then one day I started singing. And he's like, man, you don't need to learn piano. You should go get some gigs. So we went, and he got that gig, a restaurant gig, and just the two of us. And we played for people who moved to Long Island, but would come back to Bensonhurst every Friday, just to eat at their favorite restaurant. So this guy in the back of in the room, he had the table to himself. And he's like, yo, Brandon, do you know who Al Hibbler is? And I was like, no, I don't. He said, you don't sing Stella by Starlight by Al Hibbler? I said, no, I never heard this song. He's like, you don't know who Al Hibbler is? And he's like, okay, Brandon. I said, yo, what's your name? He said, my name is D. You can call me D. So I went home that night and I studied Al Hibbler. And to be honest, I just started crying, because he just reminded me of me. His voice is strong, but like he's just like, so grand, and that sounds cocky. I don't mean it like that, but it's just like I was developing my voice, and it's like I just heard what I heard myself in him, and
Right.
And he's like sang with Duke Ellington, and just very talented guy. So when I heard that song, I was like, yo, I gotta sing that song. And so we did. And, I realized the dream of, performing with big bands, and I love it. It's just a different, part of the bag. And, we got to get the Calypso big band next.
There you go. There you go. But I think playing with big band for every musician is something to experience. If you look at the history of jazz, from the early 20s, when big band ruled, a lot of the jazz greats, Charlie Parker, Miles Davis, John Coltrane, all the guys, they came, Jimmy Heath, they all came through big band. Before they had solo careers, they played in a big band. That's how you develop your Ella Fitzgerald. All of these singers, they sang with big band before they were known as individual artists. They sang with a big band. They honed their craft within a huge ensemble to make sure that they understood the fundamentals and the function of the music.
Right.
It's differently. It's done different these days. You got a pretty face, you got a decent voice. Oh, we're gonna make you a star with no musical training or background.
Correct.
Shouldn't even say that, but I'm just, what I'm saying.
Oh, I get it.
But you're doing the right things. That's what I'm sharing with you.
Thank you.
And it shows. This is like classic Frank Sinatra or so many guys that came through that 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 path
Yeah.
as professional musicians. So you're doing the right thing, and it shows, man. So kudos to you, man. Thank you for that, man. I want to move on with our next song because you shared some wonderful music with us, and you have another song that you shared with us, and this is called "That's All." Let's check this out. That's all.
I can only give you love that lasts forever, and a promise to be near each time you call. And the only heart I own for you and you alone. That's all. That's all. I can only give you country walks in springtime, and a hand to hold when leaves begin to fall, and a love whose burning light could warm the winter night. That's all. That's all. There are those, I am sure, who have told you they would give you the world for a toy. All I have are these arms to enfold you, and a love time can never destroy. But if you're wondering what I'm asking in return, dear, you'll be glad to know my demands are small. Say it's me that you'll adore for now and evermore. That's all. That's all. Those, I am sure, who have told you they would give you the world for a toy. All I have are these arms to enfold you, and the love time will never destroy. If you're wondering what I'm asking in return, dear, you'll be glad to know my demands are small. Say it's me that you'll adore for now and evermore. That's all. That's all.
Yeah.
Hey, man, you got some good followers here, man. You have one that says, brings me back to the 1950s and the great crooners, Sinatra, Martin, Tomei, Bennett. Love the arrangement also. Yeah.
Cool.
It's something when you can do your own thing and follow the whole Caribbean diaspora and present that music, but when you understand the foundation of American classic music known as jazz, it's a beautiful thing.
Right. Yeah, this song, you know, a lot of the singers love the ballads. You know, my great aunt, she just passed. Her name is Eslin Bain. She called them sentimentals.
Hmm.
So I'll be calling them sentimentals now. That's one of my favorite sentimentals. That's all. I think it was recommended to me by Johnny O'Neill when I
Okay.
met him. And he said, you know what you should sing, Brandon? He's really good at like suggesting songs for people. He said, you should sing that song. And so I went home and learned it. And I saw Al playing it with his band in a different key, I think with the singer Sharnay Wade.
Hmm.
Eventually, once I started doing more work with the band, you know, they changed the key for me and, you know, kind of reworked the arrangement. And it's one of my favorite arrangements of that song. And, you know, I love performing it, you know, so.
It's beautiful. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah. You mentioned some of my favorite musicians too. You mentioned Shawnee Wade.
Yes.
I worked with her in the past. She's amazing.
Yeah, she's great.
And Johnny O'Neill, man, I miss those smoke sessions he used to do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, we had a lot of fun. You know, I mean, actually, like I said, Johnny really shared his stage with a lot of people, you know.
Mhm. Yeah.
I mean, he's a school in himself. He
Mhm.
boasts knowing over 1,000 songs or something like a 1,500.
Yeah.
And he always shared his stage with me, you know. Maybe the
Yeah.
first time I ever sang at a place like Smoke was because he called me up. And he
Mhm.
knows how to accompany singers, you know. He's very particular about not just playing behind a singer, but really working with them in real time to enhance their gift, you know. So, you know, I thank him a lot for the education I think I didn't get, but you know, he was very generous with his stage, and you know, we all try to pass it on when our friends are in the audience as well. So
Mhm. Yeah, Johnny's an institution within himself, man. So that's good that you got a chance to work with him.
yeah,
Beautiful. Yeah, man. So let's continue. We have one more song, and I just want to jump into this because we're on a good path there, and the music is beautiful, man. Thank you for sharing.
thank you for sharing it.
Yes. So let's check out "Empty Clouds."
Okay.
I've been searching for my life, making changes left and right. But it seems like every time I stand up, I fall again. This time I see the light, and it's shining oh so bright. Start from within. If you're trying to find your way up out the dark, start from within. If you're wanting peace, just open up your heart. Start from within. Precipitation held my flight. Thought I almost lost the fight. Took another breath, and now I see it's over. Through the rain, through the rain, through the rain. Oh. Through the rain, through the rain, through the rain. Oh. I made it through the rain. Was looking for love in all the wrong places, instead of within my heart, until I fell out of touch with who I was, and I needed help, and so I had to go and start from within. If you're trying to find your way up out the dark, start from within. If you're wanting peace, just open up your heart. Start from within. Precipitation held my flight. Thought I almost lost the fight. Took another breath, and now I see it's over. Through the rain, through the rain, through the rain. Oh. Through the rain, through the rain, through the rain. Oh. I made it through the rain. Many times while I'm down, looked around, no one there but through the storm. What I found is inside of every one of you. Search inside of you. Love's inside of you. And with this you can welcome a new day. A better day. A brighter day.
Bro, you got a lot of comments, man. You got a lot of comments. I didn't know that anyone could still sing. I'm buying anything you put out. So,
All right. Yeah, Teresa.
yeah, yeah. Thanks for all the love and much love from. Yeah, you got a lot of support, man. It's beautiful, beautiful. So, man, you shared all your music. Well, some, not all your music. You shared stuff with us that you've done in different capacities. Some of the Calypso stuff, some of the big band stuff, some more popular stuff. Because "Empty Clouds," that's more modern, right?
Yeah, that song was written by a friend of mine, Akini Blake. He's from Trinidad, and one day he just took me to Prospect Park, and we walked around, and it just started raining. But he was asking me all about my life and different questions, and I just love the song because I'd been singing a lot of the jazz. They knew that I was doing that stuff, and they just said, let's like get you to today. And I was like, I am today, but well, I hear what you're saying. So we got there, and I love the track. And after a while, 2019, I was diagnosed with cancer, and
Wow.
that was 4 years ago. So when I heard the song again, I was just like, yo, that was like written in advance, because it's become such an anthem for me that, that song is unreleased as well. So more unreleased music on the Dion Parson Show, Sounds of the Diaspora. But I mean, I plan to release that soon. I sing it out wherever I can. But, although the song always had meaning to me, it took on a new meaning. And, that's what music is supposed to do, heart with intention. That's what people like Belafonte and Sparrow and all these people were trying to do, is, say something, not just sound good all the time. So, this is my contribution to music in that sense. That, I hope it reaches a few people that, resonate with that story. And, and I hope to release it soon. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Yeah.
Well, it's beautiful music, man. And we will continue to support you musically and through, your health. And we pray for all the good things and continued success, man, because, bro, you have a great voice. You're doing amazing things. I'm happy that you reached out, and I'm happy that your friends encourage you to reach out. And we definitely, it's been a minute, but we got you on the show.
Yes. Thank you. It's been great to be here, and you're doing an amazing thing. You don't have to depend on 5 networks anymore to be on the platform. Everybody can do it. Yeah. And I'm very proud of also my video series, Capsulocity. We interviewed over 100 different musicians that were up and coming. And, this is what we do. We help each other, in that regard. Media is a very powerful tool, a very powerful weapon, however you want to look at it. But, you can reach all around the world now, which makes us all, in a sense, world musicians. So thank you for having me on this platform. And I'm having a good time. And, and I hope to see you again soon, hear your band again. I love what you're doing musically.
Definitely, man, definitely. Let our audience know, our Capsulocity Network. Let them know a little bit about that, where they can check out your stuff, because you've done some amazing stuff interviewing folks as well. And any upcoming shows and any website or media, social media, where they can find you, share with them where you can be reached.
Thank you. So, so Capsulocity started because, like I said, I loved production, and I always just wanted to have my own variety show, so to say. And I didn't have the money, but coming from my Caribbean household, I guess, who plays the numbers a lot, I played some numbers, and I hit the win 4, and I won the exact amount that I needed to buy the camera and start the series. So from about 2012 till today, we've documented over 100 musicians, from John Batiste, Jasmine Horn, Brianna Thomas, Etienne Charles, Jean Caz, the list goes on and on. And even if you don't know who those people are, you go to something like Capsulocity and you watch them and you discover them, and hopefully you would follow them and see what they're into. And also spend some time as a videographer for Jazz at Lincoln Center, when they first started a YouTube channel. So, I got to interview the likes of Clark Terry and John Hendricks, a major influence on me, Marilyn May. So I just love interviewing people. I'm a singer, and I love to be singing more. But, I had access to a camera. Most of those things were shot in my living room. So, just put each other on, you know, and I love it. You know, it's always a show. You know, you could do the show anywhere you want nowadays, and so you can find me with the Capsulocity show. If you just type in CapsulOcity.com. It's just a capsule of the city, so Capsulocity. And my website is Brandon Bain, BrandonBain.com. So I've been updating it just at the different places I'm going to be. You know, like I said, I'm hoping to do some releases later this year, singles, EP, and, you know, so some shows should pop up then. Right now I'm working on a show with the Urban Bushwomen out here in Rhinecliff. And we're doing a show called Scat. And it's about, you know, just the great migration of this woman, Jawale Zoller, who's related to Mr. Zoller, who plays trumpet. And
James Zoller.
James Zoller, yes. So I'm having a lot of fun. You know, it's the school that I missed. You know, I'm learning a lot about, you know, music and scatting and all of this stuff. And I'm working with some talented vocalists, Brianna Thomas, Sharnay Wade, Milton Suggs. We're having fun, man. So I'm looking forward to this. You know, I was praying to be busy, and so a lot of things are popping up now at this stage in my life, and it's nice and hot. So, you know, I can't even complain. You know, little sleep, but a lot of fun and a lot of learning. Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, it's been a pleasure having you on Sounds of the Diaspora, and we look forward to having you back when you get these songs up and ready to release and all of that. You know, let us know.
For real, I will, and I look forward to one day being in the Virgin Islands, man. I'm trying to have some Caribbean tours, you know, like
definitely
go to the beach after. So
we're gonna work on that. Well, enjoy your time up in Rhinecliff, and say hi to all the wonderful folks up there that you're collaborating with, man. They're some good friends, and it's been a pleasure having you on the show, man. Thank you again, Brandon.
Thanks again, Dion. I really appreciate it. Much love, and I hope to see you soon.
Yes, sir.
Peace. Thanks for watching.
Take care.
All right.
All right, man. That was Mr. Bain, Brandon Bain. So we had a good time hanging out with him tonight at Sounds of the Diaspora. And man, join us next week as we bring to you beautiful, as you can see, amazing vocalist as well. She's doing a whole nother thing from Mr. Bain, and she's working on a couple gospel projects right now, and I've been in touch with her about these projects. She's going to share this with us next week. So I hope you can come back and join us next week as we bring to you Miss Tammy McCann's to Sounds of the Diaspora. Take care. Thanks for joining us. Have a blessed evening.
JBH Boutique Care offers you a unique exclusive membership in our nationwide concierge medical services network. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Judine Bontemps-Hill. I'm double board certified in family and obesity medicine. We pair exclusive personalized care with accessibility and convenience. A better way for you to receive immediate quality medical care. Whether at our main Orlando, Florida office, traveling across the U.S. or visiting the States, we bring you the best medical care without waiting for an appointment. Become a member today by calling 407-234-5282 or visit us online at jdhmeg1.com. JBH Boutique Care is proud to sponsor Sounds of the Diaspora, music and conversations with artists, and host Dion Parson every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Source TV Radio Network, WTSN, Washington, D.C.